Okay, I'm going to review the lab that we started on Friday. This is just going to help you if you're struggling on what to do next after we collected the data. Let's start with the data we collected from the Gay-Lussac's lab, and this is volume and temperature. This was the lab where we had 3 beakers, and one had ice water, room temperature, and then very hot water. My numbers will be different than your numbers, but it's just going to show you what to do with your current numbers. If you want to redo the lab and get better numbers, or now that you have a better understanding, you're not sure if you wrote your data correctly or if you lost your lab. When this video is done, one group at a time can go up and do the lab if that's what you need to do. So here's my pressure and here's my temperature. The new converted temperature, because this is in Celsius and it needs to be in Kelvins. So to get your new converted temperature, all you do is add 273. Make sure you always convert your temperature to have it in Kelvins. So with your numbers, again, just add 273. Our numbers should not be the same. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the next column to find the constant K, and you just do the formula that it gives you. Okay, capital P times T. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my pressure, this data box, times it here. All these pressures need to be converted to ATMs. Here's the conversion right down here. So you get your original pressure and you divide by the conversion. And that is how you're going to get your pressure in ATM. That is the standard pressure unit. So what you're going to do for all your pressures in kPa is divide by the conversion, just right here. So this is really 0.14 ATMs. Okay, and you're going to do that for all of them. So whatever you got for your room temperature, divide by that. Whatever you got for your hot water kPa, divide by that to get everything in ATM. For atmospheric pressure. So I'll do my first one, P times T, that's 0.14 because that is in my P pressure box, and my T for temperature is 296. So I'm just doing what it's telling me to do right here. Now I'm going to type in my calculator. Okay, and I get 41.44. I'm going to move on to my next data box. The very last column, it says P divided by T. Okay, so it's just like this one right here, but now you're going to divide. Do this with your numbers as well. I got a very little number. Okay, so that's what you're going to do with this data table up here. Now let's go down to the next question, because you do have to graph it on your own. You're given graph paper. It says graph the pressure versus temperature. What should be on the x-axis and what should be on the y-axis? Okay, if you remember dry mix, the y-axis is dependent. Okay, so it's depending on something. The x-axis is the manipulated variable. Okay, it stands for manipulated, independent on the x-axis. So manipulated means we could physically change it ourselves. Out of our two choices, which is pressure or temperature, which one could we change ourselves? Okay, we can change the temperature. So that is what's on the x-axis. The dependent, which is on the y-axis, would be the other one, pressure. Because the pressure depended on the temperature. Okay? So on the x-axis is temperature. Is the x-axis up or is it horizontal? Anyone? Temperature goes on the bottom, and you need to do this on your full-size graph paper. Okay? I'm not sure what your numbers are, so you need to figure out how to space it accordingly to your data. And then the pressure is on the y-axis, okay, and you always know y is to the sky, so the y is going vertical, and this is where your pressure is. Just write pressure, and it needs to be in ATM. For atmosphere, this needs to be in K. So that's what you need to do for the Gay-Lussac lab, the one with the beakers. Let's look at the Boyle's Law lab really quick. That was the one where we used the syringe and measured the pressure. Volume, it's in milliliters, but please convert to liters. Pressures in kPa, you need to convert to ATM. And then you do the same thing here. Just do what it's telling you to do in the boxes. Pressure times volume, pressure divided by volume. You do need to graph your data. When we look at the questions, two, it's just asking you for the average. I'm just reading through these questions right now, and you should be fine answering them. If you do need any help, please come and see me. If you need to redo the lab or you lost your lab and you need data, you can go ahead and do that now.